Good morning, students. Welcome to Blue Stars Higher Secondary School, Class 7, Subject English. In today's class, we are going to learn a new prose lesson, unit number 4. The name of the topic is The Ashes That Made Trees Bloom. Yes, take your English book. Have you ever heard any stories? Yes. Which type of stories do you like? I know mostly children will like all type of stories. But today we are going to see a Japanese tale. This story is an village type of story. Are you all ready to hear my story? Yes. Yes, now we move to this story. It is a beautiful story written by William L. Griffiths. He is William L. Griffiths. You can see in this display. He is the author of this poem. He was an American man and also he was a lecturer. He was the son of sea captain. You know sea captain means? Yes, sea captain means one who commands a ship, especially a merchant ship. Now we get into the story. Take page number 56. Now I am going to say the story. Students, listen carefully. In between, I will ask some questions to you. First, I read the story. You listen carefully along with me and then I explain the story. In the good old days of the daimyos, here, what is meant by daimyos? Yes, daimyos means one of the territorial magnate who dominates much of the countries from 11th to the 19th century. There lived an old couple whose only pet was a little dog. Having no children, they loved it as though it were a baby. The old dame made it a cushion of blue crab and at mealtime. In this passage, they are saying that an old couple was living there. Here couple means husband and wife. They are living very happily in that village, but they don't have children, but they love their pet dog and also they love the dog as if it were a baby. And also here dame means what? Dame means a woman. Here they are preparing for their night meals. These are the things they discussed in this passage. Now we move to the second passage. Muku, for that was its name, would sit on it as sung, as a boy in a rug. The kind couple feed the pet with tidbit of fish from their own chopsticks, and also the boiled rice it wanted. Thus treated Muku, the dame creature loved its protector like a being with a soul. Here they named the dog Muku. The dog, they love the dog very much and also they feed the dog with the help of their own chopstick. Yes, what is meant by chopstick? It means Chinese used to eat with the help of the two sticks, no? That is called as chopstick. They also use giving that own chopstick to the dog. They are feeding the dog fishes and even the boiled rice to the Muku. Even the dog also loved that couples. These are the things they discussed in this passage. Now we move to the second passage. Now The old man, being a rice farmer, went daily with hoe or spade into the field, working hard from early morning until O Tento summer, as the sun is called, had gone down behind the hill. It means the old man used to go daily to the field to work very hard because the farmer have to work very hard in that field till morning to evening when the sun behind the goes down behind the hill. Here o tento samu, it means the sun is called as o tento samu. Every day the dog followed him to work and keep nearby, never once harming the white heron that walked in the footsteps of the old man to pick up the worms, for the old fellow was kind to everything that had life, and often turned up a sword and on purpose to give food to the scared birds. One day the doggy came running to him. Now the old man every day goes to the field to work very hard till morning to evening. With that farmer, the dog also goes along with that farmer and return back with that farmer at evening. When the dog followed to the work, it never been disturb any birds. Here harming means hurting. Heron means white heron means a large bird that lives near water. A bird lives near water. Here, the dog never disturbs any birds and human beings. It is a very good dog and behave very well and is a friendly to all the living things. Here, the birds follow the footstep of the farmer to pick up the worms. Who is a friend of farmer? Yes, earthworm is a friend of farmer. And also the farmer feeds food to the scared birds. One day the doggy came running to him, putting his paws against his straw leggings and mentioning with his head to some spot behind. The old man at first thought his pet was only playing and did not mind it, but the dog kept on winking and running to and fro for some minutes. Here the dog came near to the farmer and paused the farmer to mention something, but the farmer couldn't understand that. Here mentioning means indicating something. He is representing the some spot. Here spot means a place. The dog representing some place, but the old man could not realize what it come to say. So he did not mind that what the doggy is saying. Here winkling means complaining. Here the dog complaining to the farmer, but he did not mind it. Here to and fro. What is meant by to and fro? To and fro means here and there. The dog running here and there, but the farmer did not consider anything. Then the old man followed the dog a few yards to a place where the animal behind a livingly scratching, thinking it only a buried bone or bit of fish. The old man stuck his iron strode hoe in the earth when he surprised. It is incredible, a pile of gold gleamed before him. After a minute, the old man followed the dog to that place. He just thought that the animal is indicating the some buried bone or a piece of fish, Then the old man digged the land with the help of the hoe. Is what is meant by hoe? Hoe means a tool for digging. When he digged that land, he find that gold coins. He is incredible and he could not believe himself. In an hour, the old couples were rich. The good soul brought a piece of land, made a feast to their friends, and gave plentiful to the poor neighbors. As for Doggy, they petted him till they nearly smothered him with kindness. Now, in the same village, there lived a wicked old couple. Within an hour, they became very rich, so they brought some land for them for fielding, and also they helped poor neighbors with that money. They also loved the dog very much, and also they treated dog with very kindness, and also they lived in that same village itself. Who had always kicked and scolded all dogs whenever any passed their house. Hearing of their neighbor's good luck, they coaxed the dog into their garden and set before him bit of fish and other dainties, hoping he would find treasure for them. But the dog, being afraid of the cruel pair, would neither eat nor move. In that same village itself, another couple were living. That couple won't like any animals, so they kicked and scolded all the dogs in that village. Yes, what is meant by kicked? Kicked means hit with feet. What is meant by scolded? Abused. They used to scold the dogs with the feet. When the couple heard the good luck of their neighbor, they also allowed the dog inside the garden and they gave some foods and fishes to their dog. But the dog did not eat that because they scolded that. Then the couple dragged him outdoors, taking a spade and hoe along. No sooner had Muku got near a pine tree. At last the couple bring the dog to near the pine tree, but they tried to dig the land with the help of spade and a horn. When they dig the ground, they find the dead kitten. Instead of gold coins, they find the dead kitten. The smell which made them to drop their tools and they are shouted like anything. Yes. What is meant by kitten? Kitten means the young one of a cat. Then the couples get very anger on the dog, so they cut down the dog heads with the help of that same spade and hoe, and also they buried the dog in that same hole itself and they went away. At last, the incident of the dog death reaches to its owner's ear. When he heard that, he became very sad and anger on that couple. Then he went to that buried place and mourned for a long time. He is calling many dear names for the dog. We also used to call our dogs with very different names, no? Like that he also calling. But he could not tolerate by himself the loss of the dog. He made some setup near that place with the help of the bamboo stick. Then he placed some camellia flowers and cup of water near to that buried place. Then the farmer moved to his home. That night he saw his dog in his dream. The dog asked him to cut that pine tree and make from it a mortar. What is meant by mortar? Yes, mortar means a bowl to crush substance. Then he also asked him to make from that wood a mill. On next day morning, he cut the tree and made the bowl with the help of some workers, and also he made some handled hammer of wood. The new year also coming near, so the farmer decided to make some rice pasture. They put the boiled rice in the wooden mortar. The old man used the wooden hammer to pound the mass into the duff. What is meant by mass into the duff? Mass means a material and duff means flour. When the pasture was steady baking, it turned into a gold coin. The old woman took his hand mill and filling it with the bean sauce behind to grain. The gold dropped like a rain. At that moment, the envious neighbors peeped into that window. What is meant by envious? Envious means jealous. What is meant by peeped? Peeped means seeing secretly. The neighbors are seeing secretly through the windows. He decided to borrow the mill. The old couples readily gave their mills to their neighbors. Mans are pounding the rice and women were grind dirt. And that time the pastry and sauces are changed into worms, and they broken the mill into pieces to use it for a firewoods. After a few days, the old man had another dream. In his dream, the dog came and said that a wicked neighbor had burned that mill. And also, the dog said to sprinkle the ashes of mill on the wreath tree. What is meant by sprinkle? Sprinkle means spread. What is mean by a wither? Dried up. And it will bloom again. The old man humbly took the ashes from the neighbors. The old man went with his wife to the garden. When he entered into the garden, his favorite cherry tree was very bare. What is meant by bare? Yes, bare means without leaf. The tree was living without leaf. The old man just sprinkled the ashes into the tree. The tree was very beautiful and bloomed beautiful. So all the villagers are round now to see that amazing wonder. After then, the greedy neighbors also heard that story. They gathered the remaining ashes from that place. He preserved that to make withered trees bloom. In that same time, his lord, the daimyo, was passing through along with that high road. High road means highway. He went to see him with his basket of ashes, but the train approached. He climbed up into an old withered cherry tree, but it was against of the rule. Yet seeing an old man, the leader of the van ignores him. The old man sprinkled the ashes into the tree. Immediately the tree bloomed into very beautiful. The daimyo was delighted to see that. He stopped and called the old man to him. He thanked them and gave him many gifts and invited him to his castles. The greedy neighbors heard that story. He did not exactly what the good man done. However, no flowers were there. The wind blew, and the ashes entered the noses and eyes of the daimyo and his wife. Daimyo called him. He was beaten to death. At last, he and his wife lived to green olden age. Yes, in this way the story ended up. I hope you all will like this story. Thank you, students.